Natalie Skinner, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
All
Thanks so much for
right.
having me on.
Kia ora, New Zealand. Right.
Yora.
What time is
Yes,
it there?
it is 11:30 on Wednesday morning. So,
Hmm. So
yeah,
it's 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday night here, and uh, I'm super happy to have you on. I'll be looking forward to this. So Natalie Skinner is a very close friend of mine, and a colleague that I've worked with in some form or shape for the last 12 years. She has been in the industry for 20 years and is probably the hardest worker I have ever worked with in the industry. And that says a lot because I've worked with some hard workers and some
very
hustlers
kind
out
to
there
say.
who makes a difference. And a really is a special person. So Natalie is an entrepreneur. She's a fitness leader. She's a business owner. She currently owns her own personal training studio in the heart of Auckland City, which does very well, and it's great to hear it's continuing to do well coming out of this phase we're in at the moment. So, Natalie, you've been doing this for 20 years, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Yep.
Yep, I was qualified 20 years ago, but I started coaching gymnastics when I was 12, and I
Nice.
knew that was what I was going to carry on doing
Yeah,
for the rest of my life, and I'm doing it.
you're a great coach. You've done so much. So Natalie and I worked together as coaches in a studio in Auckland a long time ago, many moons ago. And then Natalie came over to work with me in Belgium, where she was the wellbeing director of one of the largest clubs in Belgium, and did an incredible job there. And how long were you in Belgium for, Natalie?
And 2.5 years. Yeah,
2.5
nearly 3
years
years.
in
Yeah,
Belgium.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you went back to New Zealand, and settled back in and sort of had to start again, huh?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was the first time that I ran my own personal training business because I'd always either managed a gym or a studio or a big club. And so it was the first time that I was just working for myself and starting starting my personal training business again from scratch because, I hadn't been in New Zealand for really properly for the last sort of 10 years doing that. So
So,
yeah, it was,
so it's quite interesting. So you were a director of a really large club in Belgium, and then went back to New Zealand to start your own, personal training studio and mobile personal training business, and
yeah, yeah.
hugely successful. Did you take a lot of lessons with you that you learned as being in a managerial role?
Yeah, do you know what? I think maybe the lessons that I took the most was the amount of different types of people I met. And I think that's what I've loved about working. I mean, I've worked in England and Canada as well.
Yes.
As is the is you just learn, and I just love learning about what other types of people there are, and then you can sort of learn lessons from each of those people. So then when you go to start something else up, you've got okay, I've I've learned that from them, or you've got all these things in your head that you can remember, and it's just really neat. So I guess that's probably what I learned, yeah, the most. But also, I mean, obviously being in Europe, it's a different culture than New Zealand,
Yeah.
And Europe has a sort of bit more of a relaxed culture in exercise, whereas in New Zealand, like it's more must wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do exercise, and and everyone must do exercise before work and must do work. Whereas so it was quite nice to have that lifestyle exercise and then come back to New Zealand and go, okay, there is other ways you can do this. You don't have to exercise at 6 o'clock in the morning, which
That's
is
that's
nice.
an interesting observation. That so you're saying that in Europe there's more maybe a balance, more wellness focused, more well-being, is not so intense.
Yeah, and I think we are starting to in New Zealand now. We've got a great background or playground to play on, so
Yeah.
we should be using that. But I think in New Zealand there was still a line between. It's changing now, definitely, but there was definitely a line between this is exercise, you're in a gym exercising, and this is playing a sport, or this is going for a bike ride with your family. Like there was different, like those things was sort of separate. Whereas and now, and especially after COVID, which is one of the things that's been really great for New Zealand, is people have realized that exercise is not just in the gym. Exercise is a lifestyle thing, and it can be spending time with your family doing some exercise, or it can be in your garden, chopping down trees, and you've just done 3 hours of exercise. So I think it's nice that we sort of can figure out that it doesn't have to be a set thing anymore.
One of the things you just said before that has sort of resonated with me is you've noticed a lot more families working out together, so exercising together
that was awesome.
I love that. That's fantastic. So you're finding that amongst your clients and members of your studio?
Yeah, and I think also what people are realizing, especially because we were locked down for 7 weeks, is that it is a lifestyle. So you're not going to stop doing something that you've been carrying on doing, and you make it work however you can make it work. So I mean, I had all my clients on Zoom, and I'd have like kids in the background, or I'd have animals in the background too. And my 88-year-old, I taught him how to use Messenger so we could see each other, and so I think people have learned that a little bit from this, that you can adapt a little bit better than you don't have to do exactly what you did before. There is other options, and if you're not not feeling so well, doing something at home instead of doing a stretch session at home rather than coming out, but then if you do feel like you can come out, then it's also really neat too. So it's sort of a bit of both.
I love that, and I want to give a shout out to you. You're a business partner of mine. We had a company together for many years called FUNctionalNZ, and you looked after that while I was away in Europe.
It's still going. It's still strong.
Still going. And sort of, so thank you. I want to give you a public shout out for that.
Oh, well, thank you for helping me fall back on my feet.
No, it's great. But now you've got this incredible studio, and you've got 8 personal trainers that work in your studio, coaches that work in your studio, offers nutrition, and you said
biomechanic specialists. We've got and Greg Payne. He's awesome.
Oh, so you got Greg Payne working for you?
Yeah, no, Greg's one. Yeah, Greg is. I
love New Zealand.
Greg does a lot of athlete performance, and he's awesome.
And okay, that's great. And so you're saying since opening, again, and we're still in early days. It's still the end of May here. That you're feeling a real loyalty amongst your members and clients. They're coming back, and so you haven't really noticed a big decline just yet, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the heart of a really vibrant community here, and one of the reasons we took the studio over, it was we redid it a year ago. It was actually a year ago this week. But one of the reasons we did it was because there was going to be a hole in this community if we didn't carry it on. And so for me, this is a community. It's not my studio. It's not Jamie's studio. It's our members' studio. It really is. And you missed everyone, and it is like your family. And I mean, I would probably see them more than I see my family. So,
I get it. And this is one of the things that you're exceptionally good at. I know you did that in our club in Belgium, and you turned that, what was a massive complex with thousands of people, into a tight-knit community and family feeling. That's a gift you have. You bring people together. So another shout out, Nat, for sure.
Thank you.
You're sort of specializing more in active aging and older pops. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, I love it. It's my oldest client at the moment is 88, and yesterday I was trained over actually 6 over 70 yesterday. But it's, to me, I don't actually think of them as 70 or 80 or whatever age they are. I think of them as, what do they want to achieve? So I was saying to a client yesterday, and she was like, oh, this is quite hard. And I was like, yeah, that's really hard. And I'd probably give it to a 40-year-old as well. But you need this strength. You need this. And, I'm not giving it to you because of your age. I'm giving it to you because this is what you need to be able to get stronger. So then you can go for a better walk, or you can get, do things around the house a lot easier and that. So I want everyone to be able to carry on doing those things that they could do and have less pain and wake up in the morning and feel that they're not 100, like, you know, but but yeah, that it is. And I mean, unfortunately, with as you age, there are going to be those things. You are going to feel older. You are going to feel you know, tissues are going to, everything is going to start to seize up a little bit. But if you're keeping that moving,
well, I mean, there's many 35-year-olds plus that feel 100. I'm telling you,
I mean,
right now.
I've got clients that, I've got a client that's 65 now and she feels better than she did when she's 40. Like, you know, so again, it's not that age, it's just how you're feeling and what you, have you got that ability to move, and are you feeling, is pain restricting you? What's restricting you?
That's interesting. I think, you know, much of the industry and many of, you know, much of the brand and look and feel and image of the industry caters to younger people, you know. But fitness and health is not it's universal, you know. It doesn't matter what age you are.
It's a lifestyle. You've got to do it. You've got to carry on doing it.
It's a lifestyle. And what do you feel now as we head, you know, into post COVID, or, you know, coming out of this? How do you think things are going to change?
I think people might prioritize a little bit more, which I think is fantastic. But also, I think it's given them time to slow down a little bit, but realize that health is always going to be there. Like, you might not be able to go to them all, but you always have your health. And so you always need to be able to work on your health, and you always need to be able to keep yourself, you know, motivated and fit and healthy. But I think that's really, I think that's probably one of the things people resonate.
I agree with you. And I think that's really, really important. You know, as we move forward, I think health and wellness and just in general is just going to be at the forefront of people's minds. They want to feel better. They want to feel healthier. They want to have a stronger immune system. And I just think so many benefits of exercise and health and fitness, you know, and so I think that's important. So Nat, you have this burning sort of, like, you know, passion and nonstop go, like which is why we work so well together. But you know, what keeps you going? You know, what keeps you going?
Do you know what? I think it's that I am making a little difference. Like, I think that's one of the things that is awesome, and that someone can feel better because I have done something for them. Like, is, you know, who gets to do that in their job? Like, you know, that's pretty cool. And if you can make someone feel better about themselves, then, like, you know, I've done what I was, I don't know, put on this earth to do, maybe.
I agree with you. I think that's a profound statement, and I think you did right. You know, Natalie, you love to help others, you know, and what drives you.
I think I was always destined to do this job because you know, selfishly, I get to help people, which is, you know, is what I love doing.
and what I love about your story is, you know, you've hustled and worked so hard and worked in numerous businesses, but now you have, you know, this own physical space that you have. You know, you've got a great studio and you know, but you've also got this mobile business where your trainers and coaches go out to people's houses, you know, and your studio is 24 hours with a limited membership and PIN codes. I think that's a great model, you know. So you've done really well. What advice would you give a new coach, or new person, you know, new personal trainer, instructor, someone entering the industry?
I think I would give them to just absorb and listen, and, like, every day I'm learning, like, and I think you'll never stop learning, and I never want to stop learning, but you need to keep learning to get better, but also you need to listen to people and learn from people, and that, and don't be afraid, but also don't don't think that you know everything, but also just be open to everything, and you know, and I think if you're willing and be sort of vulnerable a little bit to the environment and to the industry and everything like that, it will look after you as well, because people will see that you're really there for them, and that you're listening and you're open. And so, yeah, it will, I mean, I guess I've just developed over years because I have been able, to keep myself open and not, not sort of restrict myself to, I must only work these hours, or that, you do have to throw yourself in there, but obviously you've got to look after yourself as well. I mean, I'm not saying that it's healthy to work crazy hours, but it's also, I think, yeah, you have to be open and open to absorb, I think.
But if I can just sort of recap what you said, being vulnerable, being open to learning and absorbing what's around you. You have to dig in when you're starting, because it's a hard business to start with. You don't just walk into a clientele base. You don't just walk into a full-time status job. You just don't. You have to build it up, and it takes a little while. So I think that's really an important piece to take. But it's a passion industry. There's quite passionate people that give back to others. I love that. So Natalie,
I love what you do, which I do.
What's that?
I said, you've got to love what you do, which I do.
You've got to love what you do. You've got to love what you do to get up at the hours you get up. So I know the hours you get up. So Nat, I just want to say, publicly, thank you for all you do for so many people, and you've done a lot for me, and a lot for a lot of our friends, and you've done a lot for my family personally. And I just want to say, just keep it coming and keep grinding. Okay, my friend. Okay.
No, well, can I say the same back to you? Because what you're doing here is awesome, and everyone, I mean, really, we want to put the spotlight on you as well, because what you're doing for just to inspire everyone is great. Like all the stories I've been listening to so far that you've done, it's just each one you're just like, wow, that person's awesome. But it just inspires you just a little bit more to know that there are other people out there, doing the same thing, but also, inspiring all over the world, which is really cool. And it's great that you've captured people from everywhere.
That's why I'm doing it, because so many of you have the same story and you're just doing great things. And so let's keep it coming and push it forward.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for being the motivator in this.
Okay, my friend. Take care.
Okay, thanks very much. Have a good afternoon or evening.